Boom, guys. We got Daniel in the house, man. Always a pleasure, to say the least.
Good to be back.
And you are here to pick some more barrels.
We are, yeah.
Find something good, man.
Yeah, man, we're tasting some old stuff.
We've got stuff cooking for him for a long time. Like, so long his stickers are starting to fade.
That is true.
Yeah.
They're melting away here in Texas.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's getting hot, so I agree with that and probably believe that. But
Daniel,
yeah, we got good
walk
stuff.
them through what it is you enjoy most about barrel picking with the Blendery. I know we've left you in Kentucky. Literally, like, hey guys, I'm here for another week. Still picking.
I mean, Tim does a good job of finding all the good stuff, and then I get to go cherry pick the good stuff, and so a lot of times, and so that's
it's an advantage.
It makes it.
But you also spend your own time and money just like we do, and go out there and then pick while it's out there. So it's like, I mean, anybody that's willing to do that does get first crack at what we find. So
so it's been good, and then obviously coming back down here is good. It's like coming home almost, man.
It is.
Yeah.
I can imagine. Now, Tim, what are you pouring him? What is he trying? What's the goal for today with Daniel?
Oh, just to kind of show him how things are coming along on some of his projects, and then also, like, we've got some new stuff in that he probably hasn't had anywhere yet, and so just to introduce him to some of the things and see if that's his swim lane, then we can reserve something there. Also, the double jeopardies are a hot topic, and he has earned his right to one of them. So we've got 3 of them over here that he's going to try, and I think that'll be its own video trying those 3.
Yeah.
Well, I'll get behind the scenes of that. Daniel, what's the hardest part about picking great whiskey? And I'm only asking because Chance said this the other night. He said the Blendery does an amazing job of not hiding some of their best stuff. Yeah. And I said, well, it's got to go somewhere.
Right.
And so Tim literally puts it in front of you so you can choose, which is very difficult for the average person.
Yeah.
Not even average, above average is like, golly, dude, I think I just want a bottle of all these in this blend and leave here with a box. So it's the hardest part, man.
Yeah, it's twofold, really. I mean, I think in this situation, the hardest part is just finding which one is the best one you want. Like, because there's always like different levels, but like most of them are on par here to where they're going to be something that's great.
It's personal preference.
It is.
And then it probably matters what you've done before, what you've released, what you've released recently, because you want to like keep things fresh.
Yeah, all of those things go absolutely. And it's not just personal preference, because we've talked about this a lot. Like, what sells to our clientele? Like, we've kind of developed a trust with our group of people, and they know what we're looking for, and we know what they like, so what sells for them as well. But then everywhere else, it's like the hardest part is probably like telling people no. Like, if it's not good enough, like, I'm going to pass on that. I'm going to pass on that. Or,
you find that? I feel like you have no problem telling people no.
Well, you
don't want to waste a trip.
Correct. I mean, it's different when it's different when you drive down there with you, and I get to try through however many umpteen barrels. Most places you go to as a retailer, and you're going to pick through
5, maybe
3 to 5.
Yeah,
and I think it's scaling back from 5 to 3. Pretty quickly.
And then it's like, because when we did the baby Saz pick, it's like, we had, I think, 4. Yeah. It's like, you got anything else? What else?
Yeah.
Nope, these are it.
Yeah.
Which one would you like?
Yeah.
So
I mean, So yes, deciding, is that one that was the best of those 4 good enough to take home, or is it you just say no, go home without it?
And then you take in consideration price and yield and all that stuff. Does it make sense?
Right.
But you're probably getting pretty seasoned on, like, all right, nope, yes, nope, yep.
Identify pretty quickly as to like which ones we can kick out. Usually, if I'm with one of our groups that come with me to wherever it may be, we always vote one out first. Like, everybody kick one out first, right? And so that's been pretty quickly established with us.
Yeah, one of my goals is to always keep you on your toes when you're here, make you second guess some things like, oh, I don't want that. Okay, but let's just try it.
Yeah.
Let's just try it.
Oh, well, and it's easy. You can say whatever you want, but I mean, just like what we just talked about here, you can get preconceived stuff in your head that affects what you taste.
Yep.
Right? People can say a certain note, and then that's all you're going to pick up is that note. You know, I mean, it's very easily done. And so
you tried to tell me last night, like, this cocktail tastes like Band-Aids or something.
Oh, wow.
I was like, don't say that, because now I'm looking for freaking Band-Aids.
Antiseptic. He's like, oh,
and then it loses everything for me, so you can really screw somebody over by saying bad
all I was
things.
trying to do was save you from ordering something that tastes like Band-Aids is all I was trying to do, is trying to help the guy out.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe you did.
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah.
So
Good. Well, we'll get you some reactions to some of the bottles being poured and your choice. What do you think of what he poured so far?
I've never tried this.
this is a 12-year double-barreled beam. That you said beam, but now I wish I wouldn't have told you beam, because I think you only said
what we
beam
just said.
I
I went back and like tried it without trying to think about the typical beam profile.
I think it's off profile. I would not
I
guess.
understand it's got more dark fruit in it than like a beam does. I think.
Jerry, you grab the Claremont Clementines. I'm gonna have you try this one, and I will be shocked if you say, "Oh yeah, this is a beam."
Yeah.
I mean, it's got so much orange, and it's solid. This one's got orange and cherry on it.
Yeah, I got more like dark fruit.
Okay, well, as Daniel gets into trying a few more things, we'll capture you guys can enjoy it and get some reactions.
Yeah. The orange on it. Mm-hmm. I do like a good orange on a bourbon, and when I find them, I tend to gravitate towards it.
Like I'm telling you, the finish, I'm still getting that bean peanut on the finish.
You're full of shit.
No, I'm not.
No. We should have done it blind.
But I'll tell you, like when we were in Kentucky at Green River, you know, like I love that nutty. There was one that you didn't like, one of the mash bills that you didn't like at Green River. I was like, shit, I'd buy some of those.
Oh yeah.
The peanut profile.
Yeah, I remember that on the back of the Rick House, the 21% rye. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you don't mind the peanut.
I don't.
Okay. It needs to be the right peanut.
Yeah, I'm telling you, it's very subtle on the finish. I do get tons of orange. I get definitely orange on the nose. Like,
I just bought some Green River ryes from a broker. I think you'll be impressed with those.
Yeah.
Well, actually, this was just pulled today from the barrel, so assuming today's a good day on this, I think you'll like it.
These are not in glass yet.
These are not in glass.
Okay.
Nope.
Don't tell me.
Well, I think you already saw it.
Well, I saw one of them.
Yeah, buddy. Nose is there.
Yeah,
Nose is there. This one was sweet dessert caramel.
I saw the label.
Okay,
you can talk about it.
This was what barrel was that in? That was in your Tango toffee barrel, right?
Yeah.
The 11-year Tango toffee, which people still talk about that down here. They love that bottle.
They still talk about it at home.
Yeah.
I've got like half a bottle in the back room, and people like, pull that out. Let's have a pour of that. Golly.
So this is another finishing project in the barrel?
So this will be the first.
Dude, the caramel and toffee is in there.
This will be the first product we put in since we dumped that. But it's been in there for a hot minute now.
Oh yeah.
Like,
dude, I think it's better today.
Yeah.
It's got like a butterscotch thing going today too.
It's candy for sure. Like, it is crazy.
I'd be cool bottling that today.
Yeah.
If you don't want it, I'll sell it.
It should be a good fill too.
67%.
Let me see this.
Dude, nothing wrong with that. That's a crowd pleaser. Easy drinking.
Yeah, what proof is that?
116, 117.
Yeah. No, it's easy.